my faux pas on redoing this bio. I missed a part, but that's okay. I will correct that.
We'll pencil it.
So how many, today we're going to talk about decisions. How many of you have ever made a decision? A couple of you, okay. We're continually making decisions every day, every minute we're given the opportunity for decisions. Even if you don't make a decision, you're making a decision not to make a decision. A decision is defined as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. The action or process of deciding something or resolving a question, which brings us to the word choice, which is similar, an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. The right or ability to make such a selection. You know, ever since we've been kids, we've been making decisions, right? I mean, your parents made decisions for you until you were able to voice your own opinion. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you made a decision that you were hungry and your parents had to get up and feed you, right? When you were a baby, how many of your parents remember that? 3 o'clock in the morning? Your parents made them until you got to a certain point in life. And then you began to make your own decisions, right or wrong, good or bad. And I'll tell you a little story, the decision I made. When I was 10 or 12, my friend and I, we used to do a lot of bike riding. Well, her bike had a flat tire, so couldn't use her bike. So I told her that I would get on my bike and she could tow me on the front handlebars. Now this is before they had those, well anyway, I'm not going to date myself there, but. So as she was towing me in, I thought, this isn't a good idea. And I thought, you know what, it's okay. We go bike riding all the time. She knows how to bike ride. I know how to sit still, you know. Come to find out that I flew off the handlebars and apparently hit my head, because when I came to and I was with her, I said, I don't know where we are. Where are we? Where are we going? I don't recognize any of these streets. And she says to me, well, yes, this is, you know this street. We go down this street all the time. And I said, no, I don't know this street. What's the matter with me? I'm like, look at me. Is my heart somewhere? She's looking me over and she's like, no. You know, my mother always told me never tow anybody on a bike. Mothers are always right, right? Mothers will be shaking their head. Yeah, so I learned very quickly that I should probably listen to other people, especially until I got old enough to make my own decisions. Even then, some of you have made decisions that you can look back on. And you kind of look at them and go, not so good. And then there are some that you go, yes, I was right on it then. How many times do you ask now, probably even in high school, you would talk with your friends and get advice, oh, this boy likes me, what do I do? I don't know how to handle this. Or I'm not doing well in this class. Probably not very many of us were focused on our education at that time. We were focused on boys and having fun, right? So we would ask our friends, and our friends would give us advice. Probably very few of you, I know if you're my age, maybe when you're younger now, you're able to communicate more with your parents. But in my day, I didn't talk with my mom about getting advice from anything. I didn't sit down with her, okay, look, Mom, I have this problem. I like this boy, you know, or whatever. I didn't have any of those problems. I didn't have that ability to communicate with my mother in that fashion. So, of course, I asked my friends, right? I mean, makes sense. And every time I would ask my friends, I would ask 2 or 3 friends, and I would get different responses from each one of them. Have you ever noticed that? When you're trying to make a decision and you just want somebody to go, here's what you need to do. Nobody can do that. They're always like, well, if I were you, I would do this. Well, if I were you, I would do that. But that's looking outside of yourself, isn't it? And how many of you can remember a time when your friend gave you some bad advice? And And then who suffered the consequences? Your friend? You did, right? Because that ability, that time for you to make the decision, it is a right for you to make your own decisions. But so many of us look at everything that's going on around us, and we say to ourselves, you know, when you're faced with the decision, you usually ask yourself two questions. How is this going to affect me? And the second one is, at what cost? And I'm not meaning financial, although sometimes it may be financial. But you ask yourself those questions. And you think, how do I know to make the right decision? How can I tell if I'm making the right decision? Well, I'll get a few more opinions. And I'll see what other people think. A lot of the times people who are in marriage and they're having conflict in their relationship, or even people who are not married who are having conflict in their relationship, tend to go to what? Counselors, right? Therapists. Because that is an unbiased person. And they're supposed to be able to look at it objectively and step back and see what's best for both. And a good counselor will tell you, well, sir, you need to work on some things, and ma'am, you need to work on some things, or you both need to work on some things, or very rarely do they tell you, oh no, you're perfect, it's their fault, right? Wouldn't it be easier if they just did that? Oh, I'm perfect. See, it's your fault, I told you. But it doesn't work that way. Because anytime you're in a relationship with anybody, there's always two sides, right? There's always your side and their side. Now, hopefully on your friends, when you're talking about your friends, you're a little bit closer to your friends. So you kind of sometimes are on the same wavelength. That's why you're attracted to them. Because you feel a likeness. You feel a kinship with them. You feel like they're somebody that you can trust. Right? How many of you have ever been betrayed by a friend? Because you know what we're doing, we're looking out there. And we're looking at, what is this going to cost me? How is this going to affect me? Now sometimes as we get older, the decisions become a little harder, don't they? Do I take this job? Do I buy this car? Do I buy this house? Those are pretty important decisions. Because you're either going to have to live with that decision for a little while. You know, if it's a house, it's 30 years. Not that you can't sell, but you know what I'm saying. So those type of things we tend to try to get good advice from. And nowadays, we have Google and YouTube. So what do we do when we have a question? Let me Google that. My mother still can't figure out how that works. I pick up my phone and I say, what's the weather going to be today? And of course she tells me. Or what's the meaning of this? And they tell you. Now YouTube is good for showing you how to do things. How many of you have ever done anything with YouTube and gotten the directions? Pretty good, huh? And if you don't like what somebody said, you just go to the next YouTube on the same thing, right? Okay, that seems too hard. Let me find something else. Because we want the easy way, don't we? Yes, of course we do. We want something that's going to work, that's going to be quick, that's going to be fast. That's what we want. So we have to make a decision. Do we do it the right way, or do we take a shortcut? How many of you had parents, mother, father, whoever, who had to, I think the term is called jerry-rig something, to where you just kind of do it to get by, right? Knowing that eventually you're going to have to fix that the right way, or by another one. So how do we do that in our lives? How do we look at our lives? Do we say, I just want a quick fix? I just want to get a job, doesn't matter where. Now, of course, if you're financially hurting, that's pretty important to get a job. And then you can always move or grow from there, right? You can always change positions. You can always go with another company. And who knows? If you do a good job, you make good decisions, you do the right thing always, you might be manager soon. Especially this day and age, because so many people are looking for help, right? I'm going to tell you another way to look at your decisions. Why don't you look at your decisions from within? Now, as kids, we were told what's right and wrong, right? We were told if you put your hand on the stove, you're what? Gonna get burned, right? And don't leave the door open. This is not a barn. I'm sure you can fill in with your own things that you heard growing up. Chew with your mouth closed, sit up straight, all of those things. Those are ingrained into us. So some of those decisions are just like a reflex for us, right? It's like you don't even think, how many of you go up to a stop sign in your car? You know you can go after you stop, and you look left, you look right, you look left, you look right again. I mean, right? How long ago did you learn that? So some of the decisions that we make are good, because that's for our safety. And that helps us stay alive. But some of the decisions we make were because of negative programming. Oh, well, you'll never get through. You'll never go to college. Even if you want to go to college. Even if you have a burning desire inside of you to go to whatever classes you want in college. If you were told by your parents, oh, you'll never make it through college. What do you have in there? You've got that plan. Now, you can make two decisions. You can make a decision to be like, okay, well, she's right. I don't even know why I try. I'm not going to go to college. I'm just going to be satisfied with where I am. Or you can say, I have this burning desire inside of me to do this. That's what's going to carry me through. Because I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't have had that desire if you weren't supposed to do it. Think about that for a minute. Wouldn't have been placed within inside of you. Because that passion, that ability for you to tune into who you are and follow that passion is up to you. In this day and age, especially with COVID, we've learned how to think beyond ourselves a little bit. What can I do to keep society free of this nasty virus? I guess now we're into the monkeypox thing. What can I do to keep myself free? Well, let me give you a little twist on it. What can you do to keep others safe? What can you do to help others? Because it's a great decision to be focused on yourself. And I'm not saying it's like when you're in an airplane. What did the stewardess tell you? If something happens, the mask drops down, put it on yourself first, and then assist somebody next to you, right? Isn't that what they tell you? Because if you're not there, you're not going to be able to help anybody next to you. And that's a lot, we can see that a lot in caregivers. Because caregivers are so externally focused. Well, take care of mom, take care of my sister, take care of my uncle, take care of my brother, take care of my sister, that they don't take time for themselves. Now, what happens when you do that? You deplete yourself. I have a neighbor who's right now going through some health challenges. She's been out of the hospital about 2 weeks now. And her husband has been so diligently focused on giving her meds, giving her tube feedings, making sure she can get in and out of the shower, making sure, you know, all of these things. But what about him? So I finally said to him, I said, you need to take time for yourself. Go out, go shopping, go, I don't know, go eat somewhere, go do something. that you enjoy. I'll be here. She needs me, she can call me. It's right next door. It takes 2 minutes to get there. And you see, he nurtured himself. And I'm not telling you that you need to nurture yourself and forget everybody else. That's not what I'm saying. But it's a balance. And I'm going to tell you, when you go within and you sit and you look and you meditate on what is best for you and get all the garbage and all that stuff going on in your head, when you shut all that stuff up, shut it out, there is that still small spark of divinity within you that will help you make the right decision. Because you know what? You have the right answer for you. Only you can make the right decision for you. I mean, I can make a decision for you. Is it going to be right? No. It's going to be based on my ideas, my viewpoints, my upbringing, my life here, everything that's gone on for me. That's how I'm going to choose to make a decision for you. Now, to some degree, I can step back from that, just as counselors can step back from that and give a good opinion and an option and a different way of thinking. When you look at what is good for yourself, you will then be able to see what is good for others, because you will learn to become detached to everything external. Many of us jump on the bandwagon about, oh, this politician says this and this politician says that. We jump on that bandwagon like, go, go, go. But do we take a moment and go inside ourselves and see if it feels right? Because you know, you were taught right from wrong when you were a little kid. You know you don't hit people. You don't say bad words, or you get what? Your mouth washed out with soap. I guess I'm really dating myself now, right? Or you get to, I got to stand in the corner, which I was a very hyper child. So standing in the corner for 15 minutes, worst thing ever. I would assume it's kind of like your cell phone for kids being taken away now. They can't live without that. But you know what's right and wrong. So go inside yourself. Andrew Jackson Davis says, keep an even mind. That sounds so simple, doesn't it? It's so hard. Because you're allowing everything else to come in. You're allowing yourself to be influenced by external events, which aren't even yours. So the way that you know, because I know y'all have been waiting to hear, how do I know I'm making the right decision? Right? I mean, you always want to make the right decision, right? Because you don't want to suffer the consequences. Because you want to make sure everything's good. You go within. You sit and you meditate. Now, if you've never meditated before and you sit down and you go, okay, God, what do I do? You're going to be like, oh, I didn't get anything. But the more you meditate, the more you tune into yourself. Because there's a spark of the divine in you that goes with you, that is you, every day. And when you shed this physical body and you move on to the spirit life, that's who you are. That person is in you. And that person can tap into the universal energy. And you have anything that you need when you go inside and look. Because it's all there. The only thing that limits you is your physical body. This right here limits you. Because you're functioning through your brain. You're functioning through your reasoning. And sometimes the answers that you'll get from Spirit, you're going to go, what? You want me to do what? I know some of you are nodding, so you've experienced that before. when you follow that inner guidance, is it always going to be right? No. It's not always going to be right. But I guarantee you, it'll be better than asking everybody out there for their opinion. Because they don't know you, they haven't lived your life. They can't possibly see through your eyes. But Spirit can. And there are those in the spirit world who love you and who want you to do good. They want the best for you. They're there to help you. So the key is to tune into that self. Tune into that spark of the divine. Tune into Spirit. Meditate. That's how you get your answers. And ask to see more than one point of view. Because you know what? There's more than your viewpoint and their viewpoint. Right? There's a higher viewpoint for the higher self. For that spark of divinity within you. So as you're making your decisions, and you have a big decision to make, the more you meditate now, the easier and quicker your information will come when you really need it. Because Spirit knows. They attune you. They're like, oh, she's meditating again. Let's go. She's ready to listen. Because prayer is speaking to God. Meditation is listening. Are you listening? Can you listen? I'll tell you, you can train yourself to listen. What decisions are you making for yourself? Are they external or internal? Your body has the answer. You're very intuitive beings. You have that tutor within you that will help you. Go within and listen to that still small voice. And there you will find the highest and the best answer for all. God bless you.